participants do we have?
We have 11.
Great. So do you want to get started, just Ben?
Sure.
Yeah.
So everybody should know Peter Jensen, our CEO and fearless leader. We just filed our 10K, our annual report for our fiscal year that ended on March 31st. And we'll be doing a review of the year and some thoughts about the current quarter and what's coming up for the next couple of quarters.
Thank you. Thanks, Ben. And welcome everyone to both existing and hopefully future shareholders. We do this on a regular basis, and we try to give you all the information we have and then update you. And but this is a super exciting day for us because we've had a fantastic summer, and I want to share that with all of you. So the agenda, we're going to switch it around a little bit. Normally we remind everyone what it is that we do. I think most of you know, and I have 2 slides at the end that also explains a little bit about why we're seeing the tremendous growth that we are seeing right now. So we'll talk a little bit about the fiscal year 23 in review. Oops, it should be called 22. But it's the one that ended in March this year. And then we'll talk a little bit about the current fiscal year and how that's going as well. And then a little bit about valuation. So just at a high level, we have proven our product market fit. Currently, we have about 3 million in current ARR. And we have seen a tremendous increase in the last 2.5 months. In fact, 20-fold. And that has made us cash flow neutral in the current month of August. That's great. We're doing between 2,500 and 3,000 transactions every single day. Again, a huge increase in just a couple of months. And that's because we've introduced some of the new products that we've spoken to you about over the past calls like this. So that there is a proven product market fit. We've also proven our ability to execute. We have 2 $1 billion clients that are referenceable, and we have several that are between $500 million and $1 billion. I say this only because we have enterprise class customers and they buy from us. They're happy. Any serious investor who wants to talk to some of our customers can do so. They'll be happy to talk to you. It also talks to our technology in terms of robustness. We've processed, as you can see here, more than 200,000 transactions, right? These are 200,000 people that have made payments on our platform every single day. We have 100% uptime, never been down, okay? We have customers and partners on board. And when we look forward, things are looking really good. We're continuing our growth. We increased our guidance for this fiscal year from 1 to 5 million in one of the previous sessions, and we stand by that. As I said, we have $3 million in ARR currently. We're growing fast. We are maintaining an 8 to 10 million ARR by the end of the year. And if I look a little bit more short term, well, here we are at the end of August, the last day of August. But we expect that if the current growth continues, which it looks like, where we're growing more than 50% per month, then we should hit an ARR of 5 million in 2023 and be profitable. So very, very fast growth and a growth to profitability. And once we add profitability, then we can decide whether we want to finance further growth or take it a little bit more slow. So that's at a high level. So let's look at the FY22, which is the year that ended March this year. And this was really our first 10 months in operation. So we started generating really commercial transactions. We did testing with our customers and all that, but we really started in June last year, right? So it's 10 months. And we announced, as Ben said, about 110,000, a little bit more in revenue for our Q4, which is the quarter that ended in March this year. And that was up 2.5 times from the previous quarter. And for the whole year, we did a little bit more than $200,000. Now, we had set ourselves a goal that says we want to double our revenue every single quarter, not double the quarter over last year's quarter, just the previous quarter. Okay. So Q2 had to be twice as much as Q1, Q3, and so on. And we want to continue doubling it. And we achieved that. Of course, it's an average. Some quarters are a little bit higher. We had the difference between Q3 and Q4 was 2.5, almost 3. That's a little better. One of the others was a little bit less. But on average, if you take the blue lines here, that was our goal. Go from 8 till 16 to 32 to 64, right? That's doubling every single quarter. And the orange is what we actually did. We ended up at 111 instead of 64, okay? And of course, I know investors, they look at this, and the longer we can keep this, the more validation you have. But this is what we did, and we processed 15,000 transactions in that first 10 months of operation. And we're very, very happy about that. It is always hard to build a brand new product, enter it into new market, and scale. But here we are. And so if we're looking at the next quarter, which is the one that started April 1st, we can see that the growth is continuing, and it's in fact accelerating. As I said, we are currently at about 3 million ARR, a little bit more. I mentioned some of the other things, right? So we do between 2,500, 3,000 transactions a day. And that's actually up from 200 a day 3 months ago, less than 3 months ago. That's a big growth. We're generating between $8,500 and $10,000 in revenue every single day. Right? So, and now we are here at the end of August. We're 5 months into the new fiscal year. And we've already generated 2.5 times as much revenue as the entire last year. Okay. I mentioned the 5 million ARR expected in October, that will be profitable. All of these numbers, not so much new. One thing that we are doing today, which is we are pre-announcing Q1 of our current fiscal year, which is the quarter that goes from April till June this year, because it's over. We know we haven't had it audited completely from our auditors, but we feel very good that it's going to be 210K, which is yet again doubling what we did last quarter. And you can see all this here at the bottom, right? The story continues. We are on average increasing our goal, or achieving our goal, and achieving our goal. And today we are 2 months into the current fiscal quarter, and I feel very comfortable that we will once again double our revenue this quarter based on the current growth. And so that means that we have now, not now, but in a month, we will have delivered 6 months of consecutive growth, doubling every single quarter. And I hope that now we've proven ourselves, and we have shown to you that when we say we're going to do something, we do something. I look back at what we have presented to you over the last 12 months. And I know you go to a lot of these presentations where CEOs like me say, oh, they're going to do A and B and lots of promises, right? If you look at what we said in the last 12 months and what we delivered, you will see that we under-promised and over-delivered. And that's just how we run our business. There are no guarantees here, but we prefer doing that as opposed to the other way around, where we have to excuse and explain why we didn't do what we said we were going to do. It may happen one day because we don't have full control over all external factors, but so far so good. It's looking very, very, very good for us. So let me see here, go forward. Yeah, I wanted to show you this chart of the number of transactions, but I can't because the growth is so big that you can see the ones on the left-hand side. So I just thought, let's put them into a little spreadsheet here. So look at the transactions in those 6 quarters. Started at 60, went to 520, went to 7,000, went to 18,000, went to 165,000. And this quarter's not even over yet, right? So it's not going to end at 165,000 transactions. It's going to end up higher. Same thing with the revenue. year ago, a little bit more than a year ago, we said we were proud of $8,000. We were proud of 40,000. We were proud of 110,000. We were proud of 220. And so I think you can see the picture here. These are big growth numbers. And if you talk to anyone starting a business from scratch, building a product, hiring the team, finding the customers, selling. And by the way, we didn't raise $100 million like some of our colleagues did. We did this on a fairly low budget. We think that we have been spending our shareholders' money wisely and generate a lot of results compared to others in the same industry in a very short period of time, by the way. Remember, it's exactly 3 years ago that I joined this company and I started from scratch. We had 0 people, we had 0 products, we had 0 customers, nothing. Okay, but this is just one more startup story from Silicon Valley, where it's just, you can get from 0 to something in a relatively short period of time, and we're doing that. So let's talk a little bit about valuation. We feel that our valuation is too low, and we do that when we look at other companies in the industry. And I know that this can be hard for you to say, and we just but we've just listed some companies. You should do your own research. Look at companies, for example, and most companies in our space at our size are privately financed by venture firms. But look at what they're raising money at and their valuations. It is high, and you can't always see their revenue. It can be hard to see. But if you look at the companies that are public and you look at the companies that are being sold, because there are companies in our field that are being traded, for example, Coinify all the way out to the right. They were sold, 2-3 months ago. And you look at the value of those companies are usually valued as a factor of the projected ARR, i.e., what do we expect the ARR to be at the end of the fiscal year? And that factor is usually 5 to 7x. You can argue, should it be 5, 6, 7? I'm sure we can find examples of 10. I'm sure we can find examples of 4. It also depends on the growth. Our growth is very high, and that gives you a better multiplier. But one thing I can tell you is that with an ARR projected of 8 and a market cap in the public market of less than 5, we are the best investment out there right now, because other companies are basically raising money and selling at a big, much higher factor and much higher value, which is why I personally have put money in. Several of the people in the company, including the management team and board, has put money in. We believe in this. And and so our primary focus is to build a successful business. We need to keep this growth. If we keep growing revenue and we can be profitable, and then the valuation will come. And one day we might get acquired, right? And it'll definitely not be at this price for sure. So that's just what I wanted to talk to you about in terms of valuation. You should all look into other companies. You'll see they're all valued much higher with less growth and not as profitable as we are. So, okay, so great results. Did our first fiscal year in operation. We did great. It is continuing. And so let me just remind you, everyone, of what it is that we're doing here and why we're seeing this growth. Remember what we do. Our mission and vision. Our vision is that blockchain technology, yet another technology being introduced, just like AI, just like the mobile phone, just like the internet, is providing opportunities for companies like us to reinvent how existing business processes are executed and just do it better, smarter, cheaper, faster, more securely. And that's what we're doing. We're moving money from A to B, between businesses to other businesses, businesses to consumers, consumers to businesses. Right? And so we've built this blockchain-based engine on which we can build several use cases that solve specific problems. And that's what we've done. And I've mentioned this before. We started out with our initial, what we call our pay-in e-commerce product. This is the product that allows a merchant to accept payment in crypto or ACH, either in their store or online. And that's the first product that started generating transactions in June last year. In the first half of this year, we've talked about it before, we rolled out our payouts product. This is where it's going the other way, where these merchants are distributing money to their partners. For example, in the gig economy, Upwork, you ask someone to provide input and help on creating a PowerPoint. Someone says, I can do it for $500. Well, Upwork needs to pay that person that may be sitting in the Philippines $400 because it's 500 minus their fee. And today they do this through the banking system to tens of thousands of their contractors out there. And it is a mess. Anyone who's tried to do a cross-border transfer through the banking system, they know. I mean, I met with our attorney in Europe. For a month, they've been trying to wire us $40,000. It's a joke. Nobody can figure out what's going on. Everyone has these stories. Now imagine it's $400 or $800. And a lot of these young people in the gig economy, they already have a crypto wallet on their phone. They're saying, can't you just send it to me in stable coins to my phone? I have it in 5 minutes. I can go pay my rent instead of waiting for a week for the bank, and then maybe it shows up, maybe it doesn't. So that's our payout product. We have a B2B cross-border payment product. We have customers saying, hey, I need to move large amounts of dollars, maybe 10 million, maybe 1 million from Singapore to Germany. Great. We do that using stable coins. And then our latest product is our gift card product, which is based on the blockchain. So our customers can purchase a gift card that is documented on the blockchain, and that gift card can be used anywhere in our ecosystem. So those are the 4 products. And that is the reason why we have been growing, or one of the reasons, because we're able to take these products and go back to our existing customers and new customers and sell this. And so looking forward, of course, we have new revenue sources, new products on the roadmap to support our continued growth. So that's what we're doing. These are the products that are driving this growth. This slide is from the previous presentation. It hasn't really changed, but these are the customers that we are dealing with. And I mean, they're rolling out e-commerce pay-in to 30,000 websites. They are doing payout. It's a good example of a very large customer buying one product and then expanding the engagement. That's what you want to do. You want to sell more products to the same customers. Why? You generate revenue, but it's also a sign that they like what we do from a product perspective and the way we handle and treat them. And the next one is another one that also does e-commerce pay-in, and they want to roll out payout as well. We're doing a couple of PSPs where we do B2B. And then the last line here, this is what I told you 2 weeks ago, right? I said, we have made this little test for 5 days and it's going to be big. Customer wants to process $1,000 a day. And we delivered that. In fact, we did more than that. We did 2 customers that did this. So, and that is again, what's driving our growth. So I just remind people that when we say these things about the future, it usually happens. I'm sure one day there's something that doesn't happen exactly the way we plan it. But all in all, if you're looking back, we've delivered what we said we were going to do, and we will continue to do so. All right. So the summary, I think I've said everything here, so I won't say it again. The last thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is what's going on in the industry, because we see most of our volume outside the US, only because, as we know, the US government has been putting a damper on crypto in the US. But luckily, we're seeing that changing because I think what they're seeing is that this is moving outside the US, and the US has always been ahead in terms of technology. So so therefore they have to move. So I just shared some stories here, right? So when you see the big established companies in the financial industry starting to move with crypto, then you know which way it's going for sure. PayPal, 430 million users, have announced a couple of weeks ago their own stablecoin. So now 440 or 430 million members can use stablecoins to move money more efficiently. Remember, stablecoins, they're pegged to the US dollar. So this is, no one's going to buy PayPal stablecoin to make money. It's not an investment object. It's a technology to make things faster, better, more efficient. Why is PayPal doing this? It's because they want to stay competitive. They want to have another 100, 200 million members, and they're afraid other people are going to do it, right? What else? We're seeing that the SEC's fairly aggressive stance against many companies is not working. XRP, right? Ripple, they have not won completely yet, but there are some very good judgments going in their favor. Grayscale, the same thing. Grayscale, just the other day, they won, and they want their Bitcoin ETF, just like some of the other players, right? So imagine now you have all these old investment funds where you can log on, and now you can invest in crypto. A lot of people didn't want to create an account with Coinbase, but if it's in the Fidelity account or an E-Trade account or something, I feel comfortable. It just will make people more comfortable with the technology, and therefore it'll be something that we'll all use on a daily basis. BlackRock here, right, the biggest money manager in the world, says that Bitcoin could revolutionize finance, which is why they want to do a Bitcoin ETF, right? 3 years ago, they said this was really bad. Why? Because they were afraid they were going to lose the whole market to somebody else. Schwab and Fidelity, they are doing this. The US Fed clarifies process for banks to transact in stablecoins. The US Fed clarifies process for banks to transact in stablecoins. Okay, which is, I welcome that very much. Clear rules. What can we do? What can we not do? Bank of England, right? They want CBDCs. The European Union, for once, they were ahead of the US, and they agreed to a legal framework about crypto regulation. We wish we would have that here in the US too. It would make it so much easier for everyone to know what we can and cannot do. EU have said that they want to do a digital euro. IMF, International Monetary Fund, is working on a global central bank digital currency. Hong Kong and Dubai. I mean, the list goes on, right? This is happening all around the world. So I don't want to go through all of them. Instead, what I will do is I will stop here, and I will see if there are any questions. Ben?
Yes. No, we don't have any questions today. Maybe we'll give people a minute.
If you want to ask a question, type it in the QA session below. There's a little button that says Q&A on the Zoom call, and you can ask a question. Normally we have a lot of questions, so.
Yeah. I guess everybody has been left speechless by
I don't know.
the results.
Or you can raise your hand if you just want to ask your question. You can raise your hand by clicking the hand below at the bottom of the screen. All right. I mean, as always, we are available. I know some of you reach out to us and say, hey, I have a question. How's this going? How's that going? And we try to give you information. Of course, we can't give you the same amount of information as we can here, because this is available to the public, and therefore it's available to everyone, and we can share things that we can't normally do one-on-ones. All right. Ben, anything I forgot? Or you want to add?
No, I think you covered it all.
Thank you. Arvin, how are you?
Great, Peter. Great to hear all the good stuff happening around.
Yeah. Is there anything on the product side you want to, I mean, you guys are working hard developing these products. I'm so proud of our development team. I mean, when I see who we're up against, huge companies that are trying to do what we're doing, and we're beating them on functionality, our large customers choose us over the others. It's because we have a very, very, very good development team, and we're able to crank out new products much faster with much fewer resources than the big guys. And there's nothing new to this. This is what's been happening in Silicon Valley the last 30, 40 years, right? All these small companies, they compete much better with Microsoft and Google and whoever they are, and they end up buying us. So history repeats itself, which is great. Okay. Ben, if there's nothing else, I think we'll end it at this, right?
Okay, well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you very much. And this will be available for replay later on, right?
Yes, we'll post it on our website so that anybody can access it.
Great. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.